Hello again, witchy people. We're back for day 16 of the October YouTube Pagan Vlog Challenge. And today it isn't a word, it's a phrase. The phrase is, I once thought. And this was really, really difficult for me. Because I couldn't think of anything that I once thought. It's different now. But then I thought, that isn't really what the question is, or what the prompt is. It doesn't necessarily want me to say what I once thought and don't think now, don't believe now. So, I mean, I once thought that everyone saw ghosts and everyone heard spirits, and that was normal. And it is normal, it's my normal, but it's not necessarily everyone else's normal. But whilst I was sat here thinking, I just remembered something from when I was very, very young, and I must have been about 4 years old. And I thought, I'd like to share that. And when I was very, very young, I used to suffer terrible, terrible nightmares. And I still do, actually. And, but as a very young child, and I think most children feel the same, when you've had a nightmare, it almost feels like you've lived that nightmare. It's almost like it was real. It becomes part of your reality. So when you wake up, it's very hard to not extricate yourself from that nightmare immediately. And I think it's because maybe, especially as children, we dream so vividly, even if that dream isn't a good dream. And every other weekend I used to stay with one of my grandparents when I was very young. So one weekend I'd stay with my dad's mum and dad, and another weekend I'd stay with my mum's mum and dad. And this was a weekend I was staying with my mum's mum and dad. So I was with my nan. And I'd woken up after having a dreadful nightmare, and I can't remember what the nightmare was about. Not now, like I said, this was 46 years ago. But when I was crying, and I'd woken up my nan, and my nan used to very softly tell me things and tell me stories and tell me tales and just talk to me very softly to help me calm down and relax and to take my mind off the nightmare. And this one story she told, I think, really sticks in my mind because it very much plays on how I feel about the world, how I feel about life in general. I think we all come from a universal energy, and we all go back to a universal energy when we die. That's a very simplified version. So this tale that she told me kind of played into that, which is why I think I remember it so well. Now, she told me the story of the cavern angel. Now, when my nan talked about angels, I don't think she associated, I'm not saying she wasn't a Christian or a religious woman, she was, but she didn't associate angels with heavenly hosts and Christianity. I think she saw them as messengers. Keepers of souls sort of thing. So anyway, the story of the cavern angel, and this is what my nan told me that awful night when I had a terrible nightmare and she made everything better. Now, before we're born, before we're chosen to be born, our souls play and frolic in a cavern. It's a huge cavern, it's a wonderful place, it's beautifully lit with soft lights, and it's a joy to be there. And the cavern angel looks after all these souls that are waiting to be chosen to be born. On the time when you are chosen to be born, she picks you, and she'll come up to you and she'll lay her finger upon your lip and say, "Shh, don't tell a soul, you won't remember." So that when you're born, you don't tell anyone about where you came from, and then you forget. And that's why when we're all born, a little cleft here in the middle, just above our top lip. And for those that aren't born with that cleft, it means the cavern angel let them out without telling them to keep the secret, so they know something that the rest of us don't. But the idea that we all come from this one place, I know it's so fitted in with really what I believed then, even as a small child. From obviously I've developed my ideas since then. My ideas have grown and changed slightly, but the basics are still there. And it was just such a wonderful story that fitted in so well with what I wanted to believe as well as a child. So there we go. I once thought that we all have a cleft here because the cavern angel put her finger upon our lips and told us not to tell her secret. There you go. I'm not saying I don't believe it now. Thank you for watching thank you for watching Witchy People. I will be back very soon. Bye for now.